Well, pleasant good afternoon to all of you across the world. Thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette, and we are having this very brief, exclusive interview with Senator Yaya Nimely, um, Senator of Grand Gedeh County, on his recent decision to walk out of the hearing, the public hearing conducted by the Senate's Joint Committee with several institutions, including the Ministry of Transport, National Bureau of Concessions, the LMTI, and other institutions. Senator Nimely, good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. This hearing, highly anticipated, announced yesterday. A lot of people look forward to it today. In fact, started yesterday.
Sure.
And expected to conclude today. But then at some point, about 30 minutes into the hearing, it turned out very, very chaotic. I mean, different views expressed, and the hearing was brought to a standstill. But before that, I saw you walked out. Why exactly did you walk out of this very important hearing?
Well, thank you. This contract that was signed between the government Liberia and LMTI, the contract has not been consummated. But then the government allowed it to be implemented. So what is it that you are implementing now? And this man is collecting, monies for licenses and license plates and car inspections. When the Ministry of Transport by law that should have authority over this institution currently does not have any authority. The entire authority has been given to LMTI. So that, if we have not consummated, why you implement? Why do you implement? The Senate for the past 6 months have been making recommendations to the IMCC, to the ministers within the executive branch of government, informing them that the Senate has agreed that this contract is not in the interest of the government. The citizens, the economic part of it, revenue generation, revenue distribution, all of it is not in the interest of the people of Liberia. And that's the recommendation we have made over and over again. We have had meetings in consultation, informing IMCC that the contract needs to be looked at, because our authority within this contract is limited. Well, I think we have the right to make recommendations, and we made those recommendations. And yet still, nothing has happened. To the extent that the execution of this contract has begun, and the citizens are complaining.
Didn't the contract pass through the Senate? Didn't this Liberian Senate, for example, peruse this contract and give a check mark to this contract?
It was through the perusal that we made a recommendation.
What were those recommendations?
The recommendation was that the contract in the first place, the Senate committee chair on defense and security said, in the interest of the security of this nation, it was not okay for this LMTI company to take hold of the vital statistics of this nation. If Thomas Yaya Nimely goes to apply for a license, my entire profile will have to be given to this company. Instead of having the Ministry of Transport to have an inroad to be able to become the custodian of this information. But the Ministry of Information will not be the custodian. And now I'm hearing today that they are still working on it. But if they are still working on it, then why are you implementing?
At what point did you get to know that the LMTI was already implemented?
Well, we got to know a long time. We've been discussing it. I mean, it was, we had a session on it yesterday. We had a session on it last month. We had a consultative meeting with the IMCC people that we were not comfortable with this document. And finally, the Senate chair on defense and security went on Spoon to inform the people of Liberia that this contract was not good. And that's why I brought it back today into the chambers. So the point here is, why did you choose to give it to LMTI. We have been having, how you call it, John Yubote's company giving license plate in this country for the past 4, 5, 6 years. And the agreement between the Ministry of Transport, the government of Liberia, and John Yubote's company, that agreement was very fair to this country, where their contribution to government was acceptable, and the licenses that they were giving were acceptable. There was no problem. So why did the rescue government come to power today and they took it from John Yubote and they gave it to LMTI that has agreed to give us 30% in revenue and they take 70%? Why would I own something? In the first place, the Liberian government has a liberalization policy. What does that mean? In this setting, in this context, what does it mean? That you will take a company, a contract that has been run by the Liberian, and then you take it and you go to as a Lebanese man. Is that part of the liberalization policy? Is it because this man, John Yubote, is a sedition that you took it away from him? If you took it away from him, then what happened to the revenue aspect of that contract? Why didn't you maintain similar revenue that comes to government? But then you went and reduced what comes to government and you gave more to LMTI. Why should we be working for LMTI in this country? Why?
At some point, just before you walked out, there was an exchange between you and Senator Daba Vabla when you said that the rescue government is not fixing this thing. And she said that, in fact, the rescue government is trying to fix it. It was rather created by the previous administration.
Well, that's why they took power. If it was created by the previous administration, they said that the previous administration was not performing and they came to rescue. So if you found something that was not appropriately being taken care of, and now you are in power for the past 2.5 years, your responsibility is to go and fix it. And if you're not fixing it, then we'll hold you liable for being impotent.
You think 2 years is enough to have this contract fixed under this administration?
Well, in the first place, the previous government, according to what I heard, that the previous government rejected this contract. The previous government rejected this contract. That's what I heard. So if this government knew that this contract was rejected and now they came and they met it, they should have reviewed it thoroughly to find out why the previous government rejected it. But that is not the issue. The issue here is we're not looking for people who want to try. You said that the previous government blundered. That's what you said. You said they blundered. They didn't do anything. So you came to do something. You came to sweep this place there and to rescue. That's why you have been firing people who profess to be seditious in this government.
You think so?
That's what has been happening. I'm a chair on labor. All right. So this issue here, don't say that the government been trying. You're trying to do what? This is not a place for people who want to try. This country is waiting. They're waiting for tangibles. So you don't try, you should implement.
As Chair on Labor, have some of those issues come to your attention?
Many times.
Where people were fired because of their political affiliation?
Because they spoke against the president, so they got fired. Because they were confirmed, and then the president nominated them and said, you have been nominated, go and take your job. They got them and say, we saw you in CDC t-shirt the last time we were campaigning. So you fired. We have seen that.
You mind to mention some of the...
No, that's not the topic right now. But the topic here is LMTI and those who signed this agreement, they are not doing us a favor as a people and as a government. I'm a member of this government. I get paid by this government. I don't work for the executive. I work with the executive. And the executive has to understand that in the two branches of government, we are lawmakers. And if we find a law that has a problem, we have the right to speak about it. Now, when we speak and you don't perform, and the citizens complain, then we will have to tell the citizen that we did say something about this law, that this law was not appropriate, and the law rested within the executive branch of government. And that's what we are saying right now, that the law rested, the polish of this law rested within the executive branch of government, and it has nothing to do with the Senate.
What was your position on the absence of the Justice Minister today, the absence of LMTI, and that of the Ministry of Finance?
That is the same arrogance that I spoke about before. It's the same arrogance that we, all of us are members of this government. Our role is to fix what is broken. And if we call you and we say, oh, I saw something the last time, and now I'm asking you to please come, let's fix it. And you saying that I'm a troublesome person, I keep calling you every day, you're not going to show up, then that's the arrogance, because there's nothing we can do about it in this executive branch. It is not our apartment, so we can't forcibly enter there. And they know that we can't forcibly enter into this apartment, so they close the door. They just close the door on us. But we want to let the people know that the door you closed to the Liberian people. And you know what? We're coming for you 2029.
Coming for?
Thank you. Wow. Elections.
2029.
I'm not saying I'm going to do anything. My voting card is going to ensure that what you are doing today, it is wrong. And if you continue to do it, then we'll vote against you. That is the issue. All of us here, the people got the citizens out there got voting card waiting. That's our new weapon. So if you're not performing, we'll use the voting card and bring in the next person.
But the LMTI thing is just one aspect of the many issues that the government is working on.
Well, that is true. That is true. You haven't had a wife before who said because you didn't buy her July 26th clothes, so she packed her tea and leave. With all the other things you have done for her. But because she and her children got July 26th clothes, she had never packed her tea before to leave. So it is the public that will make that decision. It's not me.
Thank you, Senator. But just before I go, finally, how is this Burkina Beast issue in your county? Is it resolved now?
Burkina Beast issue is not going to be resolved. The people are here. They cannot do business. And all we have to do is to ensure that they behave and follow the law. So we are working along with immigration for those who have come and they want to stay, so that immigration, now that they have been enumerated, so that they can be given resident permit. I think I spoke with the immigration officer yesterday. We had an appointment. Unfortunately, I think he had a meeting, so he didn't show up. So that we can go ahead and start sensitizing the Burkina Beast, letting them know that immigration officers are not people to be afraid of, that we need to work together so that they can apply for their resident permits and thereafter go and apply for work permit. But I think some of them are leaving, from what I heard 2 days ago, because somebody is giving them information that they're only working for food. So they said they didn't come to work for food, they came to stay. But if the public is insisting that they came to work for food, then they will be leaving. So I heard yesterday that a lot of them have left. I got a message from a group of them that told me that the people said they came to work for food, and so they want clarity from my office. So hopefully within the next week or so, I will be going there to give them clarity. They are not here to work for food. They are here based on the agreement between them and the stranger father, the people who are the farmers. They said 60-40. If that's 60-40, they're working for 40% of the cocoa is for the citizens, and 60% of the cocoa is for the Burkina Beast, because they are the one that is performing 100% of the labor force.
Approximately how many thousand Burkina Beast?
We don't know. The immigration gave us a report the last time. They said 60,000 in Grand Gedeh. That's the report that immigration gave us. But now we are hearing that a large group of them are returning. So we'll wait for 1 or 2 more months. Then maybe we'll ask the Ministry of Labor and immigration to go back there and do another remuneration. And in that process, they can do the educational process.
Is their presence posing any threat to stability in
not really,
the county?
not really. It's not posing stability. I think the problem that it is having is that it's creating friction within the interfamily relationship in the communities. Some of the family members want to confiscate more of the farmland from their brother or from their sister, and that's the confusion. But for them, it's not a problem.
Just the final one. During the return, you spoke of many challenges in the county, but amongst those issues,
energy. The superintendent reported. He gave us a report a verbal report. He was on YouTube, and he said that he spent $400,000 on LIB Energy to be able to expand the electricity grid in Suedru and part of the districts. When we spoke to LIB said they didn't get any money.
They didn't get any
They didn't get a dime from the superintendent. And we have not seen any tangible in the past 2.5 years from the $180,000 annually that is being contributed to the Grand Gedeh County from the government. There's no tangible on the ground. And so if he's going to spend $400,000 and that $400,000 is nowhere to be found, then I think it's time for him to leave.
Have you brought that to the attention of the executive, and what are the feedbacks you're getting so far?
Well, I haven't brought that to the executive, but I think I made that a public information. And so we now that the Ministry of Internal Affairs has now been renamed Ministry of Local Government, the superintendents and others will have to be reappointed. Okay. And once that gets to us, then we'll go into it.
Anything you want to say finally?
No, I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.